Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris from MediaFreshPress.com, and I'm here with Nathaniel Brennis from OneMoreCupOfCoffee.com. And today we're going to talk about emailing and probably some research stuff and who knows what else.
What's up, guys?
So, I know you had some interesting purchases this week, but what else did you do this week besides that?
Um, well, I got a security system installed,
Oh,
which was kind of a nightmare. Um, I mean, doing the security system was easy. I didn't actually have to do anything. I just waited for the guy and he installed it. But it's like the uh, the tactics, the marketing tactics that I complain about with the online world is the exact same with the real world. Like I talked to this, it's ADT, and I talked to this lady on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours, and she assured me I was getting a good deal and it was going to be awesome, and she had all these like specials she could get me signed up for, and I was going to get this that for free. And I got
uh,
off the phone and I felt really good. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get like everything set up. It's supposed to cost me $100 out the gate, um, and $42 a month, and then I was gonna get a special app like for $5 a month, so like 45, $50 a month. The guy gets here, cost me $150 extra to do the app activation. There's another $10 per month required charge that the lady didn't tell me about. She said it was an option for, it's called an armed guard fee, where the guys show up before the police do. It's required for the city I live in for whatever reason. And then, so the contact points where the door, I don't know if you've seen security system, but they
I used
have
to
like
sell
little,
ADT.
used to install them.
I used to sell for ADT alarms.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Those things are like
Yeah.
200, over $200 a piece, and when they're talking about covering every single door and window in your house, they're like, yeah, well, you get this, that for free, and that can be changed, whatever. It was going to cost me over $1,000 more than I had planned on spending, over $1,000 more, and
Wow.
$10 per month more than I had originally planned on spending. And so I told the guy, I said, what am I supposed to do now? You want me to spend $1,000 more, and he had already had the panel installed at that point, and he's like, well, I'll just give you the points for free. So, so I got $1,000 worth of contact points for free just because I was a baby about it.
Wow. And this
Yeah,
was the installer that you're talking to?
yeah.
Wow. Huh. Yeah, that's great. I know that when I sold, ADT alarms and stuff, like I literally went door to door selling ADT alarms and um they have a basic package, but I don't never remember being that much over, what the basic. I know a few times it was 200-300 bucks more because they wanted a motion detector or something like that. But of course, this was probably 10 years ago too. So, but yeah, I don't never remember it going that high.
I don't know if it was. I might have exaggerated a bit on the $1,000. $1,000 was the cost, but there were some doors and windows. So if anyone wants to break in, it's kind of like a lotto, which doors and windows, all the doors are covered, but some of the windows are not.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
Well, do you live in a neighborhood where you think you need it?
Not really, and I'm home all the time, so like the thing is, they kept trying to sell me on this idea, like if someone were to hold me hostage or if someone were to like hold me ransom, like that's not. I'm not planning on getting held for ransom. I don't
Yeah,
know how much I would sell for. You guys have to start like a Kickstarter campaign,
pretty.
but mostly I just want it for like when I'm away traveling in case someone breaks a window or something.
Yeah, that's the good thing. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day about that, but we were talking about working from home and being marketers and stuff like that, and we're like, yeah, like nobody can ever break in because we're always here. It's like there's never a good window of opportunity for a crook to break into this house because I pretty much don't ever leave. The only time I leave is about 5 in the morning when I take my son to the bus stop, and I'm pretty sure that's about the time the crooks are calling it a night. You know what I mean?
Joan is saying sorry, no webcam or mic. Are we? Is she talking about herself? Or I'm just gonna check the page here and make sure.
The Q&A app should be up too, guys. If it's not, let me know, but it should be up.
Okay, well, Megan can hear us apparently. She'd pay $3 for my ransom, so that's pretty good. It's a start.
We're on the way now.
And just because I got to get it out of my system, one more thing I got to complain about as it relates to marketing is I've been battling my local post office with, so I got a P.O. box. Because I'm worried about, like, if someone is pissed off about a review I do, that they're going to come look for me or something. Who knows? Anyway, I got a P.O. box for privacy, but I don't receive any mail there. It's just for email marketing. You know, so I can put my address in the box and not worry about privacy stuff. Anyway, there's this newspaper company, and they keep sending me the classified ads, and it's like a thick stack of newspaper. Now, luckily, I got the biggest P.O. box available. It's like a actual box, not one of those tiny ones. But every time I go there, it's stacked halfway with these ads, and I've called this company 7 times telling them, don't send me this ad anymore. So then I went to the post office and started complaining there, and they kept telling me, we can't do anything about us. They're paying us to put that ad in your box. And I thought, well, that's crazy. How can it be possible that all I have to do is pay the post office to send something, and I can send whatever I want, and the receiver can't stop it? So I looked it up, and I found that there's this form called PS 1500, and what the original intention was to stop advertisements that have to do with sex or sexually oriented stuff. Since then, it's been used for all forms of advertisements if you are feeling harassed. So I tried to submit the form, and they wouldn't take it because although the form is used for that purpose, they didn't change the wording on the form. So the lady's like, you can't submit this. This is classified ads. And so then I took it to the next level. I went to the freaking state post office in Sacramento, and they told me the same thing. We can't stop the ads if they're paying us to send it. And so then I went to the national level, and I complained to the U.S. national office, post office, and they told me the same thing. They said the post office is required by law to send mail that has been paid for. So if you want to harass anyone, all you have to do is pay the post office, and you can send them whatever you like.
That is craziness. So they were literally collecting money. That sounds so insane to me. Because I understand, like, if they're paying for postage, then they have to, by law, deliver that. But you're not talking about somebody paying for postage, right? You're talking about somebody that's literally paying to spam you.
Well, I mean, I guess it counts as postage. I mean, it's like prepaid. They like buy a pack and they just print out random addresses. It's not directly addressed to me. It's sent to like the owner of the box.
Right.
So they have paid, and I guess it would be the same as postage. But you know, it's not like an email account where I can set up a filter and send it to delete, or just click a button, or I have like 10 gigabytes of storage where I can just ignore it. That's filling up physical space, and every time I go in there, I got these redneck post office employees that are like, what are you complaining about? Just check your post office box more. And I'm like, who are you to tell me how often I have to check my mail? Anyway, so I posted some pictures of... What's that?
What happens when it gets full? Like,
if it gets full, then they call you, and I guess I could just be a dick about it and just let it fill up. Eventually, they can cancel it if you don't check it enough.
Really?
But I'm thinking about switching to like a what is that? UPS post office box. I think they have, but I don't know if it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, that's crazy to me, man. I can't believe that. I know nothing about that either, but I would think that they'd be able to stop it. And what sucks about that, too, is that that's kind of something I was going to talk about with email marketing, because I think that I'm pretty sure AWeber suggests you to get, or no, they want you to put an address in your emails, right? So,
Yeah.
it's best to get a PO box, which is probably what you're doing, so you can have that address on your emails instead of your personal home address. So that's a terrible problem to have, but I don't understand that, man.
Yeah, it's just a different like rule book than email. I mean, email it's like you have more control over it, and regular mail is still working off of like rules from 50 years ago. I don't know. Um, it's just odd. Like if the same thing happened in the email world, there would be a way to fix it pretty easily.
Yeah,
And in the regular world, they're like, well, sorry, we're getting paid to spam you, so we can't do anything about it.
yeah. I was gonna say it seems like with email that there's more regulation involved than there is with the damn U.S. Postal Service. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm trying to think of a rant I have this week. I don't really have much. So marketers ruin everything. But other than that, even your PO box. Um, I was looking here at our notes though, and I kind of want to stop on the email thing. I was thinking about starting from the bottom up because all your stuff is really interesting. So, what is this Billy Brew? We've talked about this guy before, right?
I can't remember, but I wanted to correct myself. Last week I said that I don't um, have anyone in my inbox that I actually read, but I do. Um, this guy Billy Brew, he does homebrew stuff, and every time he emails me, which isn't that often, I open it and I go to his blog and I comment because it's always really interesting stuff. It's relevant to me, and he doesn't email me that much. And it's about homebrewing. So it's an example of email marketing working for a non-make money person.
Um,
And it's an example of someone that I actively read and I look forward to their emails.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I just realized that I didn't have the Q&A app open on the side, so that's why I never seen all this stuff. So you don't have nobody at all in your inbox besides this guy? I mean, like you don't have any blogs that you subscribe to or nothing that hit your inbox?
No, just guys that I look forward to writing negative reviews of them. I've got my JV Notify Pro but I send them to a separate box. So I don't have to actually look at it.
Right. So you're talking about a whole separate address, or you use the tabs in Gmail?
I created a filter and then I put them in a folder. I don't know if you've ever created a filter before.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I use the tabs in Gmail too, but so yeah, that's pretty efficient. I gotta try to do that, man. I'm still slowly trying to subscribe from all the stuff because I'm using the same email address as I had when I started out, So there's a lot of junk that comes in there. I've got a lot of it down now, but it's pretty good. Um, what's this Nature Valley thing? I looked at this. I guess before we go that far, I want to you posted Chris Lee. Did you post his post in the community?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a pretty good post, man. I read that. I don't know if anybody else has read it yet, but that's a pretty good post on email marketing. And he talks about social media in there, and I think that's what you're talking about with Nature Valley, right? They did some kind of Twitter thing with anime or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think Chris has had anything to do with the anime stuff. Uh, I'm trying to think of what line of thought I had because it's an interesting story what they did. I'm trying to think of how it related to email.
Okay.
Maybe it didn't, but there's a connection in there somewhere that I am not remembering. But anyway, so Chris's post was awesome because he showed that he was getting like 50-60% open rates for his emails, which is like astronomical compared to what I did. I thought I was awesome because I was getting like between 10 and 15%. And I was like, yeah, I'm so cool. Everyone loves to read my emails. And then Chris comes on and he's like, yeah, I get about 50, 60%. It's like, what? He didn't say what niche he was in, but he did say that it was not the make money niche. So um, he kind of validated that suspicion of mine that maybe make money or biz op or opportunity type emails get opened less. It also depends on your audience. Like, I know there's a lot of newbies that subscribe to my list that don't really know how to work their inbox properly, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but like I saw someone in chat the other day that was trying to post a link and she couldn't figure out what the URL of her website was. So there's some like real beginners on there. So I'm sure my emails get lost to some of those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a part of the Fresh Coffee community, which I guess if you're watching you are. Anyway, anyone who isn't already a member and watching now can go join the community. It's called Fresh Coffee, and I posted in there. Today is the 8th, so I think on the 7th I posted it. 7th or 8th of May, 2014. Chris Livella's, I don't know if that's how you say his name, post about how to get good open rates for your subscribers for your email marketing campaigns. And he has some good tips in there.
Yeah, what I was saying about the he did something. He mentions that before, I guess the day before he sends his email out, he tells his subscribers on social media. So I'm assuming that's probably Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, whatever. And I thought that's kind of what the Nature Valley thing was. But that kind of confirms one of my suspicions that everybody tries to use social media to build an audience, and that's okay. You can do that, but that's not like the main thing that it's for. And this proves it here again, because it's almost like a customer. I'm forgetting what I'm trying to say there, but like a customer service thing. I mean, social media is good for customer service, right? So, and that's basically the way that he's using it. I know that's really not probably what you'd call it, but it's the same kind of train of thought. He's letting people know, he's informing them, and that's probably one of the things that's helping his open rate. And I think that's a great idea, man, to get out there.
Yeah, that was really, really good idea. Because a lot of emails get lost, a lot of emails get forgotten, and a lot of emails get mixed up. Like even I miss important emails when I just do highlight all, mark as read. After I think I've cleared my inbox, sometimes I miss stuff.
Yeah, I'm posting this. Somebody said they were getting some lag, so I'm going to post a YouTube link in the event page just so they can watch it from there. It may or may not have less lag.
And then Joan was also saying she uses a fake address for the address in Aweber, which I guess there's nothing stopping you from doing that. Because I thought about what if I changed my PO box, like Aweber would have no way of telling that it was changed.
Yeah, I wondered about using a fake address too. I didn't know about how that would work though.
I'm pretty sure there's some laws. Like, isn't it called the ICANN Spam Act or something? So I think it's one of those things like you won't have any issues unless it becomes an issue, and then they start looking into it. I don't know. I'm not clear on the laws of that.
Yeah, there is a law called something about ICANN, but ICANN Spam, but I don't know what it is.
ICANN Spam.
ICANN Spam. Yeah, ICANN Spam. I want to say, because Joan was saying something about she does a lot of email marketing. She mentioned this the other day, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'd like to know more about what everybody's doing with email marketing. But I think Joan, you're in St. Augustine and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, so we're about 20 minutes apart from each other, which is pretty cool. Not that it matters at all, but we should get together and drink some fresh coffee someday.
I've actually met. You remember Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. It's always interesting to meet internet people in real life.
Yeah, it's almost like you're meeting a celebrity. You're like, whoa, man. Wait.
I know you.
When did you meet Randy?
Couple of months ago. It just so
Oh, really?
happened we lived in the same, because I used to live in Riverside, and Randy was in Riverside, and we're actually from the same part of California. So now I'm living in, I forget which city he's from, but I'm in Modesto now, which is in the Central Valley. So, have you ever read, did you ever read Grapes of Wrath?
No, I didn't.
It's like this area is famous for dust. It's called the Dust Bowl when a lot of people moved to California, and there was like migrant farm workers, and there was like a lot of issues with. And now my history is failing with me. Migrant farm workers who didn't have like proper facilities and whatnot, so there's a lot of poor here, and Steinbeck kind of wrote about that kind of people picking peaches and stuff like that. Anyway, he wrote a bunch of books about it.
Hmm. No, I never read that, but I've always been interested in the Dust Bowl and stuff like that, but I didn't read that one.
We actually have a brewery here called the Dust Bowl.
You have a what?
Brewery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the brewery is called the Dust Bowl, and their flagship beer is called the Hops of Wrath.
Oh, okay. Are you making your own beer now, finally?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I haven't made my first batch at the new house yet, but I've been drinking the old stuff. So, yeah, and I've been working on my brew site, which is going slowly, but it's kind of a side project.
I seen you post. No, I was looking at. Yeah, I was looking at your opt-in page. I think because I was trying to. I was trying to go look at a lot of sales pages and squeeze pages or whatever they're called, and I was checking yours out, and I noticed you had your brew site there. So I was wondering how well that was going actually, because I thought you kind of moved on and tried something different. You were having problems with a plugin or something at one time, weren't you?
Right, well, I completely stopped working on the first homebrew site. I had a site called thehomebrewsite.com that I bought on Flippa, which just wasn't getting indexed for some reason. Um, So I guess I wasted a bunch of time on that. I just basically started from scratch, and I started a new one called brew7.com, and that one's been fine. It's getting like less than 10 visits a day, but it's something that's fun for me to post to, and it's also an experiment I want to do with doing an e-commerce type site. Like I always discourage people. A lot of people try to set up this like online shopping mall where they have pictures of the products so people can go and shop for stuff, something like an Amazon type thing. And I always tell people not to do it because you have really short product descriptions and people don't just browse random websites to shop. They go to big sites like Amazon or Walmart, or they go to smaller boutique sites that have their own unique products. There's no reason to go to your website to shop for Amazon stuff. But I want to see if I want to be kind of like a curator for homebrew products. So even though I'm promoting products that they could just as easily find on these other homebrew websites, if I write unique descriptions and offer my own opinion on them, and also provide a vehicle for these products, which is going to be my blog, I want to see if that can work out and see if I can get ranked for these items. Like if I can get a picture, and when someone searches like I don't know, homebrew whatever, and a picture comes up of this item on my blog, that would be awesome, because then I'll have 4,000 products that have a possibility of getting searched and my affiliate link clicked.
That kind of brings up something else that, because I always want to take on more sites, because especially when you're doing affiliate marketing, man, sometimes if you can create a bunch of sites that are bringing in a decent income, that's good, but, only if you're spending the necessary time on each one of them. So I've always wondered how people can manage multiple sites, and how do you know when to put time into this one? You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes it's pretty obvious, well, this site needs more of this, or this site needs more of that, especially when it comes to content. But I mean, it takes a lot to build that up at first, you know. And if you got a big site you're already running, I've always wondered how people can spread their time out evenly and be effective in 2 or 3 or 4 different niches sometimes, maybe more.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I think if I was building the sites at the same time, it'd be different. I mean, at one time I was running like, let's say, 20 different websites in the same niche,
Yeah.
and I was working a lot. Quality of content was not that good,
Uh-huh.
and it was a lot of repeat stuff. So I wasn't spinning articles, but I was using the same content ideas over and over again.
Uh-huh.
So it's just stuff that wasn't going to last. Now I have about 3 main websites that I post to. One more cup of coffee I post to every day. Homebrew site I post to once or twice a week, and then my other site I post to once or twice every 2 weeks, maybe. Which I'd like to ramp that up. I mean, technically, I can get a post done with a subject I'm familiar with if I don't mess with screenshots and all that in like an hour or two.
Uh-huh.
So if I work an 8-hour day and I have 3 sites, that means I can do 2 hours for each site and then 2 hours to do whatever other random stuff. So there's time to do it. It's just about being really organized, having a good schedule, and having a simple blogging thing. If you have to, sometimes it takes me 6 hours to do a post for one more cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, because it's just like you just said, man. Some posts take this long, some take a lot more. And I'm the type of guy I like to spread my post out because I hate like setting aside this much time and then this is all I can focus on for this amount of time because I can't. I just don't have that in me. I can't sit down and say. I mean, if I really need to, I can, but I find my content flows a lot better if I kind of work on this for a little while and then check on something else, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then come back and like I'll probably do all my research in one sitting, and then do my outline of the post, and then come back and write it, and then edit it at a later time. So anyway, I think we got way off on what we were supposed to be talking about, but it's still good information, I think.
Yeah, definitely. While we're breaking here, Joan also says, "Now I'm feeling bad. Now, this is me. I'm feeling bad about my open rates." Joan says that I found when I looked. Oh, there we go. I
Yeah,
found when I
sorry.
looked to help people who need jobs and or health care plan, just being kind and not punchy. I think it was the word, or pouchy. I'm
Maybe.
not sure. Has raised me up to a 53% conversion rate just for keeping it real. That's how it's done. Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
53%, huh? That's pretty good.
Now she said conversion rate. I wonder what that means. Open rate? Is that an open rate or is that a click through rate or what? So I think she might have left already. She said she was having bad weather, so maybe she can clear that up. But because I mean, in an email you've got, and this is one thing I hate about Aweber because I can't seem to find this information very easily. But you've got an open rate and click through rate, and all this other stuff that you want to know. How many times did they open the email? Because some people open an email multiple times. They'll click that link multiple times. What if you got 2 or more links in your email? Aweber doesn't seem to show this information very easily. Now, I found my open rate pretty easily, but there's other information that I need that it seems like they make you search through a bunch of crap, and if you've got multiple lists, it's even harder, which most people do. And that kind of brings me to one of my points was segmentation. Do you do any list segmenting, or do you have just
No, but I would
one
love to. I think segmenting sounds awesome. Have you ever heard of Aweber Pro Tools?
I think I watched. Yeah, I think I watched a webinar or something recently about that. Is that with the guy that's got I can't remember if it's a plugin or what it is, but it allows you to segment existing lists inside Aweber, right?
Yeah, that must be the one.
Yeah, and apparently that's another thing that I guess Aweber doesn't let you. If you've got this list, and this guy's on this one list, and he clicks this thing, and you want to put him in another list. Aweber doesn't allow that. You got to keep them on that same list. And I think that's crazy. That's terrible for email marketing, man. You need to be able to move people around. You've got a list of people that like beer, and then the people that open that, you want to know those people, and people that click the link inside what they've opened, you want to be able to put those in a different list so you can go, hey, these people here's my whole list of people that like beer, and here's the people that really open my emails and go and click through and read my post. And having all those people on the same list makes email marketing very difficult, I think.
That'd be pretty awesome if you could go through and look at stats for individual people and then move them around and like divide up a list based on their activities. That would be an awesome feature of a service.
But that's what I first started out on, using my dad and my brother's software. That's what I thought was normal, and then I started using Aweber for their sign-up forms, and their whole layout is pretty simple to use, but they don't have that feature. They don't allow you to create a new list and move these people here. In the stuff I'm used to in JMailer Pro, you can go in there and it shows you all your stats, and you can say, I want to segment this list, and then it'll ask you how you want to segment it. I want to segment it by people that have this first name, that open this email, and that click this link, and it'll pop them all over in a totally new list. And then you could start a whole nother campaign with just those people.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why I think Aweber's got a lot of cool stuff, but they really lack on some of that, what I feel is fundamental stuff when you're sending out a newsletter or anything else like that.
Yeah, that's pretty. That would. I wonder why they haven't. I'm sure there's people that have requested that. And for anyone who's watching and doesn't know what list segmentation is, it's like, so people sign up for your list that say, okay, I want to learn whatever it is you're teaching, but then, like affiliate marketing can be divided up into different niches. Like you've got email marketing affiliate marketers, and then you've got blogging affiliate marketers, and then you've got PPC affiliate marketers. So let's say you send out an email and you say, okay, well, I have this PPC training course, but I don't want to send it to the blogging people who want free traffic. So if you want to sign up for this PPC list that I have, or this PPC course, enter your information, and then you'll be sent these PPC emails. And then people from Group A don't want to hear about PPC, and people from Group B do. So when you have a promotion related to PPC, you only send those emails to the PPC people. That's segmentation.
Yeah, and you need to be able to do that on the fly, like, when you're in there looking at your stats. And I guess what you're just talking about, the Aweber Pro Tools allows you a way to do that, but it seems like that should be a function inside Aweber that just comes standard or stock or whatever you want to call it. At least I wish it was. I guess if you want to, we'll talk about subject lines, even though we talked about it briefly last week. But I heard something that kind of was crazy to me. I think Chris brought it up in his post too about his subject lines, and a lot of the information you hear about with email marketing seems like you could replace the title. If you're reading a post about email tips, it seems like you could replace the title of that post with blogging tips or article writing tips, because it's all real similar. The subject lines or grab their interest. It's just like writing a blog headline. But I read something just recently that was saying, write your subject lines like you're writing to your friends. So like when me and Nathaniel email each other during the week, it's not this long dramatic subject line like, hey, hope you're ready for the emailing hangout, whatever. It's just like when we email each other, it's like hangout or
About Chris, 3 things you forgot to do before the hangout today.
Yeah. We don't email each other like that. So they say that helps the open rate, I could see that.
You mean the sensational part or the friendly part?
No, yeah, just not doing the sensational part. Just email, like sending your email list a subject line that just says, coffee or whatever. Maybe you probably don't want to be totally uh, just irrelevant, but you don't have to have this big. I'm not saying that these big top 10 things to do this year are necessarily bad headlines, but it's worth thinking about. Maybe you should only try a couple of your emails sent out with something like I don't know. I mean, I'm drawing a blank here, but just like you'd send to one of your friends, like if you were emailing your brother or something like that.
Well, like I said last week, I sent out an email, then the subject line was, "Did you get my email?" And the conversion or the open rate jumped, and this is like pretty far along in the sequence, jumped about 20-25% just from that subject line rather than something informative.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a probably a pretty good example of it. So, and I think it was last week too, where I was talking about one of the subject lines I used for trying to find new clients was your copy. And it gets, I have to look at the stats, but it's a pretty good open rate. And I think that's probably a general rule to follow in marketing in general, but especially when you're hitting somebody's inbox, is just to try not try not so hard to be a marketer. Just try to be their friend. Here's your coffee or whatever. Something like that seems to be a lot better than all this other craziness.
Yeah, I think the hard part of that about that for some people is that their original intention is to sell people something. So when they get real and they get like they talk to their friends, actually what they want to say instead of hey, here's this information that I want to give you, what they really want to say is hey, buy this stuff because because I want your money.
Right.
So that's how people are gonna get stuck on this marketing thing where they have to sensationalize stuff. I think if you really want to um, get on the level with people, you got to have good intentions from the beginning.
Yeah, and that was, I think it was the same thing I was watching this email tips video. That was the first. It was like a 5 email tips on YouTube or something like that. And his first tip was that, and it sounds so lame because a lot of people say this, but I think it's really true with email because his number one tip was you need to care, but you really need to care about your list because I mean people now when they give you their email address they really expect a lot out of you. It's not like they're just giving it away for free. They really expect something good. And that kind of I was wondering about consistency and stuff like that. And Chris mentioned that he doesn't, or he only emails when he feels like it's necessary. So that was another question I've been pondering too. Should you email at Tuesday 9 o'clock every time, or should you just only email whenever you really have something good to say? Do you need a schedule or not?
That's one of the things I've always wondered. Like I've heard both sides to the coin. Like only email people when you have something really interesting to say, and then your open rates are going to be better. But at the same time, like a lot of emails get lost. A lot of people, make mistakes and then forget. And then if you go a long time without emailing people, then you are no longer relevant. They don't remember. Um, they don't remember you. So consistency is kind of important. The other thing is that your list is going to grow over time. So if I only emailed, if I had a list of 10 people and, I only email them every once in a while, that's fine. But when that list is 3,000 people, the people that are just joining now are not going to get your interesting emails from before. So it kind of puts a lot of work on your shoulders, that it's like you constantly have to, I don't, maybe entertain is the wrong word, but constantly have to engage these new people who are kind of, it's almost like joining a lesson halfway through.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I've been talking to my list for over a year now, and I feel like, one, I can be more casual with them, and two, I know what subjects we've covered before. But if a newbie joins my list today and I start sending them information about email marketing, like they're going to be like, whoa, I don't know what the heck that is. But if they got a year's worth of previous emails about affiliate marketing and how to start a blog and WA and all this stuff, they're going to be more up to speed. So yeah, I don't really know what works. What I've done is I've just set a really long email sequence to be like sequential, and then I don't do email blasts unless I have like a promotion or something.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to do as well. Is just come up, I like when I've got like good information. Like I've tried to, like if I'm really trying to teach them something, I'll try to spread it out over like a week or two. So I'll separate it by like every other day or usually 2 days. So it goes out on the third day, and then I'll set it to only go out Monday through Friday at a certain time. But that's only when I've got like a lesson that I want to plan out. Other than that, I do a lot of the broadcast things. Like I'll wake up, like I think I mentioned that last week. I'll wake up and just be like, I found something cool, and I'm like, man, that'd be perfect for my email list. So I'll send it out. So there's really not any kind of consistency there, and I don't get a lot of unsubscribes, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the right way to be doing it. And I've really been trying to test some things out, and even, it's like you said, when you got a list of 10 people, things are a little bit different. So my list, it probably isn't big enough to really do any tests and get any real data from or information from. So, but I'm still doing it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We got a couple new people here to the Hangout. I see Judith has commented. She pays $20 a month for. I think this comment was from way back when we were talking about addresses. I'm not really sure, but anyway, how's it going, Judith? Randy's here. Randy's from Oakdale, which is pretty close to where I'm from. Jay's here. Jay's a regular. Jay says that he sends emails out in the morning because he sees that the open rate is better.
Really?
I guess that gives people a whole day to look at like their fresh inbox. Like if you send an email late at night, when people wake up in the morning and I think most people would check their email in the morning, there's going to be a bunch of crap in there. So They're like, okay, read, delete, gotta go to work.
Yeah, so basically you're saying it gets kind of shoved down into the crap.
Yeah, more competition for people's attention.
Yeah.
If you send it the night before, maybe.
I think I agree with that. I like Craig's comment here. Sounds like you should use the G+ circles to direct your email marketing. And you know what? I think that's probably a really good plan, because I mean that's a good mixture of both social media and email, which we could argue if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I really like the feature that you can email people from Google+. Now, some people don't use that correctly, and it's irritating. Do you ever get emails from people on G+?
I always wonder, because it doesn't say how the emails got in my inbox. So I think the emails that I wonder, how did this person get my address? I think that must be what's happening there.
Yeah, and we were talking about segmentation earlier, man. I mean, talk about being able to segment your list. I mean, that's what Google Plus is all about, is putting people in different circles. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more to come from that. It's either they're going to really enhance that feature and do something with it, or they're going to eliminate it because people use it wrong. So I don't know.
That's the issue, is that you don't have a choice to join the list. Like, I could just join like like a best marketer or whatever circle with like 20,000 people on it and just start emailing them. And then it's like, it's their, um, it's those people's job now to unsubscribe from me, even though they didn't have a choice to subscribe.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of using it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But you probably, I mean, they started calling them notification circles or whatever, right? We did this a little bit when we first started doing the Hangouts. I'd ask people if they wanted to be in the notification circle to get an email. I can't remember. It must have been like a day before we did the Hangout, or maybe the day of the Hangout. So you add all these people to this circle, and then that's your notification circle or your Hangout notification circle, and just email them, and they're totally okay with it. But
so you were sending, because I remember we were talking about, you said you were emailing people, so you were talking about the email notifications through Google Plus.
right.
Okay, that makes sense now. I didn't understand what was happening with that.
Yeah, now they've got another thing too, I think, which is what you were probably talking about, where people can email you, and from Google Plus, people can email you, and as long as you don't reply to their email, then they won't get your email address, so that nothing ever really happens from it. But I believe you've got an option to report it and everything else, but you can go on Google Plus, and because I get them probably one a week or something like that from somebody just emailing me crap from Google Plus, and as long as I don't respond to it, they won't get my email address. But my email address is on my profile anyway, so I don't know why they do that to me, but.
But talking about the emails in Google Plus, they do have really good engagement stats. Like, I think a lot of people follow different circles and whatnot, and they just kind of get blind to the notifications. But if it's in their inbox, it's something different. I picked this up from Rick Jantz. I was looking at from his blog, babyboomerslearntoblog.com. I was looking at some of his posts, and it was like 50-something plus ones and all kinds of tweets and stuff. And I was like, Rick, what are you doing to get all this social shares? And he said what was working for him was emailing people when he does Google Plus Social. And for my own posts, I try to not do it for when I do reviews, because those kind of get boring after a while. But when I do regular posts about information or whatever, sometimes I email people. I always get a lot of plus ones. I always get a lot of shares. I always get a lot of comments too, because you can comment right from your inbox. So you get you can read the synopsis, and then you can go to the post itself. But I think what a lot of people do is they just read the synopsis that's in their inbox, and they just comment right there.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Actually, I comment from inside my inbox. I like that. Actually, keeps me from having to go out. And plus, I kind of set up what I want to come in my inbox and what circles. I think, what circles can actually get to my inbox and stuff like that. What else I wanted to also talk about? Are you still using the hello bar thing on your blog, or?
Well, I turned it. For anyone who doesn't know what a hello bar is, it's like a strip that goes along the top of your blog, and it kind of follows people as they go down the page. Mm-hmm. So hello bar was like the most popular one. Then they discontinued the premium option. Now they have a free one. So I bought a different one called Greeter Band, but Greeter Band has like tech issues that it doesn't look proper in all the browsers, and the reason I bought it is because I thought I wanted to get a delay, because if something follows you down the whole page, you're going to become blind to it. I wanted something that was going to pop out, and I thought it had the pop out feature, and it didn't. But anyway, so I used it for a while, and it kind of worked, kind of not. I got some clicks, but I didn't leave it long enough to get any real data. Then I uninstalled that and I bought something called Opt-in Monster. And from the way it was described, it looked awesome, and it is pretty cool. But it's a little bit disappointing. Again, it was $200, and
Yeah.
I guess I should have researched it better before I bought it. I thought it had the damn Hello Bar pop down thing, and it didn't. What it does is it has like a message box that pops up, which is pretty good. Um,
Is that the one that
and
pops up from the bottom?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I
So
see.
I mean, so far I haven't seen spectacular results. I am getting more opt-ins. That's for sure. I haven't measured how much yet. And the only issue for me is that it's not like the extra opt-ins to my list aren't converting to referrals, and this has been like the major issue with me this week because I'm getting more email opt-ins, but I'm getting fewer conversions to sales, and I can't figure out what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. There's
Change the
some sort of
message or
glitch
what?
somewhere. What's that?
You changed the message on the new opt-in box, or?
Um, no, I mean I've been using the same message. I'm not sure if people that are now opting into the email list are people that would have gone to my review of WA and then converted into a starter member or a sale, or if this is just like the time of year, or if there's some sort of page dynamic that I'm not paying attention to. Okay, like Jay is saying here, he tried the Hello Bar and found that visitor retention went down, so he ditched it. So I don't know if I'm like overdoing the email thing, where it's like I got a pop up here, I got a subscribe bar on the sidebar, and then I've got something below, and I've got to look here, do this, do that. So I don't know if I'm overwhelming people with stuff. So I'm doing something wrong this week.
I agree with Jay too. I also got rid of it because I think I told you this, Nathaniel, that it seemed like it was just killing my site, man. It really like slowed my site way down. They might have been having some kind of issue that day or whatever, but it really killed my site, so I got rid of it and never really looked back. I'm gonna pull up Ryan's comment real quick too because we're running out of time here. He asked, "What are some of your highest open subject lines?" We kind of talked about that a little bit before, but last week I talked about how I used the video. Like if you got your regular subject line, and as long as it's not too long, putting video. As long as there's a video there, like in parentheses or whatever. Facebook is another one, and then we were just talking about how using shorter subject lines seems to do pretty good. Like if you were writing an email to your brother, the type of subject line you'd use for that. So
Just looking at my open rates here, I
yeah,
had one line that mentioned money, and open rate increased by about 40% from the previous email.
wow. So
And
money.
what's that?
So money, you said?
Money.
Cool. That always works.
And then the did you get my email one was another one. But it was funny after seeing the one where I used money in the title. I can understand now how, because I have this inbox that I use just for spam, and the email headings or the email titles I get in there are ridiculous. They're like, access your account now, withdraw $1,000. You're a winner. You've been given free access to something else, and they're just completely like not even trying to be legit. They're like the worst, the scammiest emails that you can think of. Click here to withdraw your commissions, stuff like that. I'm sure they get good open rates.
Yeah, I'm sure they do too. A lot of them guys really do get some good open rates, but Of course, that's a lot of work. It seems like for what kind of conversions you're going to get, you know.
You see Ryan's comment here. He says, "My most open subject line of all time is hey dot dot dot."
Yeah,
Oh, I'll have to try that one. I'll see if.
I believe it, man. Linda said something here that's pretty interesting. Use vertical response for email marketing. It's free. Each group of 1,000 contact. Send 4,000 mailings. Okay. Mail to social followers and posts are unlimited. That's good to know. Thank you.
Vertical response, huh?
Yeah, I've heard of them somewhere before, but I'm not really sure. Uh, let's see. What else did we have here? So your opt-in monster thing didn't turn out. What else did we have we were going to talk about?
I'm still gonna experiment with Opt-in Monster. I think for $200 I need to get some use out of it. Because I think if it works, it could be a cool thing to promote. But we'll see. I mean, clearly it's working. I'm getting more opt-ins. But
They said something down here too. I forgot to pull that up. About your opt-in there. Sorry to cut you off, but he said.
oh no, that's
There it is, right there. So WA conversions are, yeah. I think this is a global issue as the homepage of WA seems a bit overwhelming. So it's not your fault.
good. Jay's fault.
So that could be good. Guess we'll find out. How long have you had it up though? Like, I can't remember what you said. A week or something?
Just a couple days. I think I bought it a couple days ago, so I haven't really had a real chance to experiment with it.
Yeah.
The other thing that was disappointing is I opened it, so it's supposed to be like this email marketing suite, blah blah blah, and I open it, and there is a lot of different type of opt-ins they have, but they don't really have any ways to customize it easily without going into the code. So there's all these spaces where they're like, choose your theme, and then there's only one thing to choose from. So I emailed them, and they said they're gonna supposedly get more themes in the near future, but like for some email opt-in suite, the only pop-up box sorry, it's not a pop-up, it's a slide-in. The only slide-in box theme I have is like a 90-degree angle square where all you can do is customize the color background and the text color. So that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, that is disappointing. Does it work with Aweber and MailChimp and all them, or?
Yeah, that's the cool part, is that people opt in right on your page, so they don't have to go to Aweber and do anything or confirm or anything like that. So they're on your page, they opt in, and they stay on your page.
That is pretty cool. I guess here's another good question that we haven't really thought of, but do you do the double opt-in? What do you think about it, man? Because it wasn't until recently that Aweber even started letting you not use that, right?
Yeah, I always thought it was required, and then someone told me that you could turn it off.
Yeah.
I have it turned off, and I saw a huge drop in open rates. Like, I would say about 50%. Which it was slow, so it's clear some people opt in and they just never look for the emails, or they're kicking the tires or whatever. The disadvantage is that you're then sending emails to people that aren't 100% like into your list, and they may be thinking about it, maybe not. So I think you're going to get more hits for like people marking it as spam, or people sending you mean messages. Like, I've received a couple people, I don't know how this happened. Like, I'll receive an email and they'll be like, "Who are you? How'd you get my address?" I'm like, dude, you're the one that opted in, unless someone accidentally entered your email address. So I get emails like that sometimes, which hurts my feelings. But
yeah, that's true. I think that's a good point, man. Is that it's a pain, I think, for the reader or the subscriber especially, but it really does. I've seen that too, that it really does improve your your open rate throughout your whole campaign, and you know that the people that signed up are really, really interested in what you're doing. So that's, I guess you really can't put a price on that because that's worth gold, really.
But then the advantage is that people are lazy, and like I said, I have a lot of newbies that can't figure out how to do some basic stuff. So if you tell a newbie who doesn't really understand what's going on with the internet, and especially email opt-ins, and you're like, okay, so if you want to receive this information, first give me your name and address. Then you got to go to this page to receive my thank you notice. Then you got to go in your inbox. Then you have to go to your promotions tab. Then you have to click that link. That'll open another page. Then you have to go back to your inbox again, go to this other tab. Then you have to open the email, and then you have to click this link in the email. It's like, how many more steps do you want to put between you and your information?
Yeah, that's the part I hate about it too. And Ryan Bradshaw is kind of saying the same thing here. He says he doesn't use double opt-in. I found that my response rates do decline a bit, but I get many more people overall, so it's a little smaller piece of a bigger pie. I'd have to agree with that. I don't use it either.
And that's the other thing is that maybe people subscribe and then they forget about it, and then later they pick up later on down the road. And hopefully your emails are good enough that someone can read your email and see, okay, this guy's legit, and they'll see that regardless of which email they get, and then maybe they'll pick up and look back in their inbox and be like, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Let's see. We're coming up on time now. We still didn't get into the research stuff we talked about.
I gotta tell the story about. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we covered pretty much all the email stuff. Tell your story though.
The Nature Valley anime story.
All right.
No, I still can't remember how it related to email marketing, or maybe it just didn't. I think I might have just put it there just to remind myself. Anyway, what happened is, so Nature Valley makes granola bars. And do you guys have Nature Valley over there?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, they're like natural granola bars, whatever.
Yeah.
And someone, I don't know how, it was a kid, maybe like a teenager or something, got on Twitter and tweeted at Nature Valley. They're like, I'm just going to go have my Nature Valley granola bar and watch some anime cartoons with my friends that don't exist. So it was kind of like this kid, probably a nerdy kid, into like Japanese anime and was feeling lonely or whatever. And he just tweeted out some random thing in a company and probably didn't expect anyone to respond. Now, it just so happens that whoever was running the social media campaign for Nature Valley knows a lot about anime, and they responded, and they were like giving him suggestions for anime communities, and it turned into this whole like conversation where they were like just talking about cartoons between the granola bar guy, the social media guy for the granola bars, and this kid. Somehow it got picked up by like news media people, and now all these anime fans are like cheering on this company, and they're making fan art of like the cartoons holding granola bars, and then I think Nature Valley ended up doing like some promotion or something involved with cartoons. I'm not really sure. Anyway, it turned out to be a really positive move for the company, and it was just kind of cool to see social media work for someone other than social media people or make money people. And it was kind of a thing. It was fun to see that you really can connect with people who are into the same thing as you. Because you had this. Sorry, this story is going on long. You can connect with people who are into the same things as you, and it can have a positive influence on your company. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I seen that tweet too when I was trying to figure out what you were talking about. Yeah, I actually think that kind of stuff happens a lot. I just wrote that one post about all the businesses, but some of them are kind of in the make money niche. So, but yeah, it's definitely good to see it when it happens outside of that, because it kind of reconfirms your faith in the web a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've been doing something recently. Maybe we'll talk about this next week. But yeah, I think monitoring social media, just to be short about it, monitoring social media is a really great way to find new fans and get maybe more subscribers and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth doing, and that kind of proves it right there, your story. So that's it. We're 5 after now, so I guess we should wrap this thing up. Unless you got anything else you want to say.
That's about it.
All right, that's it. Till next week, guys. Visit Nathaniel's site at onemorechupofcoffee.com, and my site's mediafreshpress.com, and we'll be back here next Thursday at 7 Eastern, and it's 4 Pacific, right?
Yep.
All right. See you guys then.
Later.